Okay, so let's get up in here to this arm. And the arm is kind of tilted, but I kind of can see what's going on. We've got just a really simple kind of hinge thing here. So if I go in and I create polygon cylinder, okay, and we'll pull this over here. And I'm also going to create a polygon cube. Okay, and let's get over into this area here and see what we got. Now this is kind of squarish up here, and maybe this might turn a bit more round down here, but it should all work out. This thing, okay, for our hinge, we're just going to go and hold down J and rotate it, something like that, and I'll make it bigger. And then there's that piece. Move this one up here a little bit. We'll make that bigger. Okay. So this needs to come up a little bit, and I'm going to guess it's something like that. Okay. And then this one here, we can probably go a bit bigger as well. And I'll guess somewhere right around there. Okay, and I want to go in and, let's see, this piece down here is going to be one, and then this one here is going to be the one with the hinge in it. So if I do something like this, and I can even go up here and I'll grab some of these vertices and I'll just move them up, and we'll style all this stuff later on. Okay, so I'll say somewhere right around here, like that for now. And I want to Boolean these things together. So I need some insert edge loop action. So I'm going to put one, say right there. That's funny. Something's off. Something's going into a different spot than I would think it is. But whatever, that's okay. And if I go ahead, I can hold down V and I can snap that one, and then this one here. Let's just pull that up a little bit and we'll go right around here. Okay, so it's nice and kind of squarish. And I'm just going to grab this. I'm going to go edge ring and split. So I got one right through the middle there. And life is good. And if I take this object and I quickly whip in a Boolean union. Okay, they should work out pretty good. Just going to get my, I'm going to use my poly split tool. Boop. Click, drag, boop. And all you do is you click, you drag, it's automatically welded, click, drag, automatically welded, and right click to finish it off. Okay, and if you want to get fancy, okay, here's fancy, and let's just go in. If I go in here and I grab these faces, now this might work. If I go to mesh and I hit triangulate, triangulated, and then those same faces selected, if I quadrangulate, you have to triangulate first before you can quadrangulate. And it looks like it didn't quite work, so then I'm going to go in, I'm going to use some of my spin edge action, and I'm just going to hit G on my keyboard and see if I can get some of these to work. Okay. And it seems like my triangulate didn't work or quadrangulate didn't work very well, but these ones here, that worked, and screw it. I'll just go in here and get that out of here, get that edge out of here. So, a couple different ways to do the same thing. The poly split worked relatively fast. Now, what do I got to do? So we've kind of got the pin in the middle, okay, but now we have to have some kind of hingey type thing, so I need to have this. Let's go and just take this thing, and I'm just gonna, maybe I'll take this and I'll squish it a little bit. Maybe not like that. Let's go and do it with the vertices. Squish this down just a wee bit. Now, to make that next part, and actually maybe I'll just round this out, because I know this isn't going to bend very well if I have something like this in, so pull this up. You bastard! Missed that one. Okay. Okay, great. Good enough. So, then the next part of that if I go in and take this, and how do I want to make this next piece? What if I make, let's delete the history, let's make a duplicate. And with that duplicate, what pieces do we need off this thing? Well, we don't need any of this, we just really need these little pieces right here. So, if I go in and I grab all these here and I go gross, I still can't stand that grow there. And do I need these ones? Probably not. Okay, so these sections around the side here, if I make those just a bit bigger, I can go in here and extrude them. Do I even have an extrude button on here? I don't. Control E, extrude. Okay, and then maybe these parts here. I'm just hitting Control E and extruding again, and then if I hold down J, I can flatten them. Dook. And of course, the flatten doesn't seem to work when you're on the manipulator tool, but if I switch to the scale tool and I hold down J, when I go like that, bloop, they're flat. Okay, and so, let's take that, we pull that down, I'll extrude again. I live to extrude another day. Take these faces here and quickly throw on a bridge. And take these faces here and extrude. And that goes down to this arm section. Then I've kind of got this funny plate on here. Okay, maybe I'll just quickly go in and grab some of these vertices on these sides here. And if I go and use my scale tool, I can bring them in. And then it looks like I've got some kind of hinge. Okay. And let's see what time we're at. 7-minute mark. Okay, cool. And I can also give this a bit of style here. If I just grab these vertices and maybe move them up a little bit. Okay, somehow that'll look maybe better. And I'm going to spend a bit of time styling this, I think. Okay, and let's delete the history. And then, as I'm looking at the shoulder pad up here, the shoulder pad, by the way, I can probably take these, and they feel like they want to be scaled up. There. Okay, give it Cylon biceps. If I go in and I create a polygon sphere, okay, and I'll middle click it all the way up here. Whoop. And I'll just make this big. Okay, something like that. If I go in and I use the rotate tool, let's hold down J, I get that little piece of pie there. Nice piece of pie. And I go in and do something like this. Okay, so now I've got roughly 4 sections on here. And right there, dook, dook, dook. That'll work out really well. If I go in and let's see, how do I want to do this one? Do I just want to go in here and I'll get rid of the faces, I guess? That'll be fast. Okay. Still keeping my pivot point there. I'm just going to freeze my transformations and delete my history. And here, let's just isolate that. So if this is just going to be some kind of plate on top here, if I go in and I extrude right now, let's go and hit 5 so you can see, and I guess I'm in this mode. Okay, great. Let's isolate that again. If I go in and I extrude right now, Control E, and I grab the blue arrow and I pull it out, it's a solid piece. Okay. If you had all these faces selected except for one, oops, let's undo that one more time before the tool showed up. So I'll go in here and I'll grab all the faces except for one, and when I hit extrude, okay, I got a different situation. It doesn't give me a solid object like that. It doesn't give me a closed surface. So I think for now it'll look better if I make a closed surface. Okay, and I might come back and do some more work to that. Well, I'm probably for sure going to. And I see down here I've got a couple of different little triangles, and because I used a section of 4, I can just easily go in here and turn these into quads. Okay. And later on I'll do something to hold the shape a bit better. Okay, and any other things to worry about here? We've got this section here, and I'm just wondering if I can steal anything from any place. Now let's just go in and create another polygon cylinder. Okay. Something I'm looking at right now is how to make this a little bit better, and what I'm thinking about is the arm is hanging down by the side, and that's usually not really great for rigging. Okay, so as I'm making this, I probably want to get my character into the T-pose, and I'll do the hands while it's in the T-pose, but I want to kind of get an idea of what the arm should look like. Maybe if I go in and I create a polygon cube, I'll just create a cube really quick and put this in place too, so that it gives me something that's hand-like here, and we'll change this later on for sure, but probably could even use these pieces here and make duplicates for the fingers. But as I get this into place, just for sizing, if I go in and I take these pieces, I can go in and group them. So I'll go in here, Control G. Actually, I'll show you where it is. Edit, Group. And I'm going to hold down D, and I'm going to move my pivot point. Okay. And here's where you're going to see this kind of problem I keep looking at, is how's this arm going to actually work. So if I do something like this, this piece here is not going to function very well. I'm just, let's see, pull this out here a little bit. Okay, and I'll have to do something about this afterwards. And by the way, if you're trying to select the group again, if you just hit the up arrow on your keyboard after you select one of the children, you'll typically get to your group. Okay, so I got something like this, and that should be good. Okay, and what does this look like here? You know what, I rotated that almost, 88, so let's just make it an even 90 so it's easy to deal with. Really T-posed. Okay, and this thing here, I'm still not crazy about it, so we'll figure out where to put it. But, actually, just hold on a second. If I put this some like negative 45, that means it's going to be easy to find again that spot that I want to get back to if I want to line it up with the grid or anything like that. So if I'm going to pick a random number, it's going to be something that's easy to figure out, not really random. And I'm just going to freeze the transformations. Now, something I've noticed is, we're about the 13-minute mark, as I'm blocking these pieces in, when I'm doing the proxy, earlier on I put a proxy in, and that's fine and dandy because I'm in the center here, but if I'm trying to do some proxy modeling and I want, say, do the leg, what I'm going to do is, if I make sure my pivot points, so if I grab all these objects here and I've frozen out their transformations, I'll delete their history, I'm going to move all their pivot points, D and X, whoop, to the center here. We can move them back later on, it's really easy. Okay, but let's do with this piece first. Its pivot points in the center, and so are these ones. So let's take this thing, and if I go and I do my proxy thing, okay, now typically mirror behavior is on half. Okay, I was horsing around with this trying to figure out how to make it work. Now if it's on half, when I hit apply, it won't be lined up properly. Okay, if I go into wireframe, you'll see it's off. So I noticed you put it to none and you hit apply. Okay, so there's your object right there. If I go in and grab the move tool or the scale tool, okay, and I froze out everything ahead of time, if I just make that -1 in the x-axis, bloop, it goes to the other side. Okay, same thing with this one. Apply. I'll take that and -1, dook, and they line up perfectly. Okay. It's a little bit time consuming to set up, but as I'm modeling, I tend to like this. Okay, and let's take this thing and boop. See, as long as your pivot point is down at the very center, there's no problemos. And whoop. Okay. I'm just trying to quickly... Oh, damn it! Trying to quickly whip all this stuff in. And I'll put the hand in, even though I'm not really doing this yet, but whatever. Okay, and that gives me a relatively good idea what my scale and everything is going to look like. And remember too, I'll turn off wireframe unshaded. As I'm working on this one, I'll see the updates happen immediately. So if I did something like insert an edge loop here, whoop, we'll immediately see, oh, and crap, there's that bug. Okay, if you get something like this, you get this green action here. All that means is the faces don't have a material assigned to them for some reason. Usually, you only have to do this once, and then it's fixed. Okay, but as soon as I go in here and I start putting in edge loops, so if I went in and used the insert edge loop tool and I pop a loop here, mama loop there, boom, I'm seeing the hard surface stuff coming up. I probably shouldn't put in all the hard surface stuff right now, but I just thought, make sure that you've seen that stuff. And also, too, you see that bug come in. So, there it is. I'm going to stop this video here.